told me that story. When I work and converse with my clients, most of the time we just take turns talking. It was never that way with Kim. She spoke on issues that mattered: her family, her friends, her job, and her passion for boxer rescue. Kim had a great sense of humor. She didn't take life so serious that she didn't see humor in some of the predicaments that she often found herself in. She had just the right amount of sarcasm and wit to make everyone laugh. After getting to know Kim better, we discovered we knew several of the same people. Some of her friends from high school that she got into trouble with are now my friends. Kim's mother would tell me some of those high school stories with a partial grin on her face. I think we heard some of those stories too, Kim. Kim would sit back and just laugh. I'm sure at the time her mom thought they would all end up with their pictures on the post office bulletin board. Kim would say the nicest things about her family. I loved watching her and her mother. They had such a wonderful relationship. Judy was the main person Kim and I had in common. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. In this case, that expression is true. It explains why Kim turned out to be the wonderful person that she was. I'm trying to imagine the heartache and emptiness that Judy and Bill must be feeling. I can't. I do know the world has suffered a big loss. She was only one person, but she made such a huge difference. Of all of Kim's many attributes, for me, her compassion stood out the most. Not only could she make me laugh, she could also bring tears to my eyes. She did so much for the boxer rescue. She would have 16 or 17 dogs at one time. Kim couldn't turn her back on those poor, abused, helpless dogs. There were numerous times that I would be cutting Kim's hair and she would be telling a story about one of her dogs. I would literally be standing in awe and listening to every word she spoke. Kim always left me feeling I should be a better person. She touched me in so many ways. She was amazing. I will always think of her as someone who would help those who couldn't help themselves. Perhaps this is why she chose nursing as her profession. Not just a nurse, a critical care nurse. I truly feel fortunate to have known Kim. I know she knew how much I admired her. I believe she does know I will do whatever I can to help her mother through this tragedy. Kim knows what her mother means to me. I only wish I would have told Kim how much she meant to me. We should all ask ourselves, what can I do to make a difference for someone else? Will any of us leave a legacy? Kim did. I thought about how to end this letter with Kim's memory lying so heavily on my mind. A simple but very accurate analogy is appropriate. Kim, if you were a piece of art, you would be a masterpiece. Now we're going to hear a word from Connie Back, who is the director of the Louisiana Boxer Rescue.
Kim was a very dear friend of mine for the last 7 or 8 years. She was a big part of my life. She was a part-time roommate. She was the driving force in Boxer Rescue. 50% of everything we did was all her work. Many times I answered the phone and the first words I heard were, "They're going to kill me." But we got to get room. We got to have room for one more. So I went and picked that dog up. I thought and thought about what I wanted to say about Kim, and I could go on and on and on. But so that you fine people can get home, sometimes it's easy. I decided I'd read something that I read about 25 years ago, and I tucked it away for that very special moment. And I think this is that very special moment. So I'll try to get through this. Success. That woman is a success, who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much, who has gained the respect of intelligent men and the love of children, who has filled her niche and accomplished her task, who leaves the world better than she found it, whether by an improved copy, a perfect poem, or a rescued soul, who never lacked appreciation of earth's beauty or failed to express it, who loved for the best in others and gave the best he had. There was another sentence here, I guess it didn't print out. But that pretty much wraps up how I feel about Kim and the kind of person that she was. My life will never be the same without her, and she's going to be greatly missed by me and by all the boxers out there, and she's left me with quite a job to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. And now we're going to hear from one more person, my wife, Kim's cousin, and Medora's going to come and share with us some thoughts.
I remember so vividly the day that Kim was born. Mom was going to be with Judy at the hospital because that's what Aunt Mommies do. I just remember being filled with much excitement over the birth of a new cousin. And I remember following them down the stairs to the car. Kim was always so cute and smart, and her voice certainly inherited those traits. I loved when she used to come to Maysville. Even though Dorinda and Mike were more her age and had a lot of fun playing, I was just glad for the company. Kim always wanted to be a veterinarian. Nan recalls watching her and Julie play for hours in the backyard, pretending they were horses, stamping the ground and neighing all afternoon. At every age, one of Kim's best cheerleaders was her Aunt Leela. She would always say, Kim stopped by for lunch today, and she brought me the most beautiful flowers. Or after Kim moved, she'd say, Kim sent me the most beautiful flowers. Whatever Kim did was a thrill to her Gram. In fact, I can see Aunt Leela as Kim crossed that heavenly shore, just beaming, saying, Kim, hon, you're here early, but lunch is ready. Kim, we miss you, but we know you're in good hands. Love you.
I suppose it would be difficult to really gather up all the thoughts and the feelings that are in the room right now. In fact, somehow words seem to fail us in this time. And so it's good that we have the scriptures to lean upon, and the words of the psalmist seem always appropriate in times like this. The psalmist wrote, The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And I suppose if there is a psalm that somehow might capture the imagination of someone like Kim, the 104th psalm is probably it. So listen to this ancient Hebrew hymn writer.